Hello everybody, welcome to what will be final race video before British Hill Climb Championships. Wow, we've done plenty of these this past 2 months. Oh, 10, 11 races, is it? It's been very successful. I've learned a lot. I've had lots of fun along the way. Today's Saturday, Cardiff Ajax Club Hill Climb tomorrow. And this is going to be part of like 3 days of training, with the Cardiff Ajax Hill Climb being like the final day of that. So last night I went out on this road actually, and I headed towards a climb which is about 13-14% for about 1.5k, and it's just on the fringes of Ammanford out here, and climbs up the hill. And I did a very good session. Very good session indeed. Funny enough, the climb is actually called Hale Mynydd, or the road Hale Mynydd, which translates in Welsh as mountain road. That was a session that I really turned the screw on and came out with it with a lot of positivity. So I managed to do 3 sets or 3 reps of the climb basically, because the climb takes around about 5 minutes, 6 minutes. There it is up there. And I did 2 minutes on, 1 minute off. Obviously resting on the climb is difficult to do, but that 1 minute off was like 180 watts just to keep moving at 5k an hour. And then 2 minutes on. So 2 minutes, 1 minute, 2 minutes, and then 5 minutes rest. Repeat that 3 times. And the 1 minute on, the 2 minute on was big. Like, I felt good. I was doing like 460, 450, 460, 470 watts. I know, like, that was kind of like, I thought the second, so the first 2 minute effort was good, 1 minute rest. The second 2 minute I was like, oh, this is grippy now. In that third set, well, that third set I still managed to hold on to the same numbers, so that's good as well. Winter has come overnight last night, or so it would seem. I'm in a little bit thicker garments today, the deep winter long sleeve. I've only got a long sleeve merino baseline underneath, so 2 layers but 2 long sleeves, autumn gloves, tights and overshoes. But you know, highs of 13 degrees, but this morning it's a low of 4, so it's brisk. This is the climb. Well, so, some of it, yeah, some of it. 2 kilometers, average gradient is roughly, I don't know what the average gradient is. But it's in a it's in an idyllic setting. We're at the, I guess, foot of Castelcoch, the Red Castle, about a couple of miles north of Cardiff. We're heading north towards sort of Caerphilly, so up onto the back of Caerphilly Mountain through this lane. So this is quite a picturesque hill climb, I must admit. Now, when we lived in Cardiff for a short period of time, I did used to ride on this road a fair bit, so I kind of remember it. It sort of gradually gets steeper and steeper until the steepest point, which is maybe 300 or 400 meters at 10%. So it's not like super steep, but the bottom section is only like 4%. So there's a big difference between the bottom section and the steep section at the top. Not technically. Yeah. You're going to be on the GoPro anyway for that.
Right, first of all, I want to say thank you to Jack on the start line here and the whole of Cardiff Ajax for putting on this event. The supporters on the climb, it was a pretty well supported event. There was also really good amount of numbers that entered as well. Almost 50 riders entered this event, majority of them from the club as well. So yeah, this wasn't an open hill climb. really per se. This was technically a club event, so not like the ones that I have been doing. So to get like 40 or 50 riders, that's a big achievement. So congrats, well done, great event, thank you guys. There's also some really strong rides from riders in the field as well, all over the shop. But specifically want to give a mention to the youngsters, the youths, the juniors, for their rides. And yeah, it was great to be on the same start sheet, really. Now, I want to talk about this climb. It is a really short one, so I'm going to keep this short and sweet. There's a lot of comparisons that can be drawn here between this hill climb, which took me around 4 minutes and 45 seconds, versus some of the hill climbs that I was doing back in early September, so just 6 to 8 weeks ago, or actually no, 4 to 6 weeks ago, and how the difference is really telling. And I recap it directly after this, you'll see in the clip, but you'll hear my initial thoughts straight after the event. But I want to say, like, my power is almost no different in this hill climb for 4 minutes and 45 seconds than it was for my first hill climb of the season back in early September, where I also averaged about 460, 465 for 4 minutes and 20. So for 4.5 minutes, I'm still in around, for basically 4 to 5 minutes, we're still in and around that ballpark. The difference is now, though, that and someone spotted this and mentioned it in the comments section in, I think, the last video or the video before, that my time to exhaustion, so it's like a kind of a posh way of saying, like, my ability to hold that same power has increased now, and that is something that we've been working on, and that's been something that we've wanted to achieve, because obviously we're not training for a 5-minute hill climb per se, we're training for a 12-minute hill climb, or at least, over 10 minutes, that sort of duration. So the comparison, I can make, which is really stark, is that, last week I did like 430 watts for nearly 10 minutes. And yet 8 weeks ago, I wouldn't have been capable of doing that. But I was capable, 6 weeks ago in that first hill climb, of doing the same power as I'm doing in this hill climb right now, 450, 460, 465 watts for that 4 to 5 minute range. So I've not lost that capability of doing a short hill climb, the 7.5 to 7.7 watts per kilo. But what I have been able to do is minimize the drop and really drag that power duration out. Almost to double the time. So, maybe go in 10 watts, 15 watts less than, 450 watts, but now able to do it for, instead of 5 minutes, I'm able to do it for 10 or 12 minutes. And that's the key takeaway. And that's the only real thing I wanted to mention today, apart from, showing you this hill climb, this footage. It's a good time to reflect and to really sort of look back on what a successful period of 4, 6, 8 weeks it has been in my preparation for this British Championship. And to be honest, this is the last race, and I will do a couple of interval sessions now. I'll keep ticking over, and I'll make sure that I've got the preparation done, so that we show up ready on the day. But to be honest, looking back on it, I really don't think I can do any more. I really don't think, I've crossed the I's, I've dotted the T's. I really think that I've taken my preparation to a level that I really thought that I can't do it any better than I have done in the past, but I really think this year I have done it better than I have done in the past, and I can hold my head up high and I can say that, and I can be very confident in that, and regardless of the outcome in 2 weeks' time, or just less than 2 weeks' time now this video's gone out, I can be very, very, very happy with the process and what I have done to get myself to this position. So anyway, back to the hill climb. I had great support. I actually had a couple of friends come out and watch, who are actually watching their first ever proper cycling event. It was their first ever hill climb as well, but first ever cycling event that they've come out to watch. They've obviously seen some of the stuff that I do, but never never seen it in person, and they were there, stood on that corner back there, and giving me a bit of a cheer. I lent them a cowbell. I could hear them a mile off. It was really good fun. So it was good to get some people involved that, you know, aren't necessarily sort of in the scene, and that was really nice as well. But it was good company. It was a really laid back day or morning for the event, and I really enjoyed. And hopefully, you know, next year I'll be back, or at least maybe even organise my own in West Wales, and some of you Cardiff lot can come along and do that event as well. But there we are, crossing the line and finishing fairly strongly this time.
So there, I could tell a difference. Like, that's just a 4.5 minute climb max, as hard as you can go. I could tell that my body has changed slightly, and like, these 10-minute efforts, or efforts, you know, over 8 minutes, over 5 minutes, I definitely tell like how I've been able to stretch that number out now. And so going shorter duration like today is like a bigger challenge, which is fine, because we're obviously not training for 4.5 minute hill climb anymore. But yeah, it's mad how your body will change in just a couple of weeks, to feel like really good at one effort and then really bad at it the next. But saying that, it wasn't a bad performance at all. But the cold air and like cold legs certainly plays its part. You know, obviously today it's different because I had to actually, you know, ride down a cold hill. You know, I was down at the bottom myself, so obviously on Nationals Day it's going to be completely different. You know, I'm going to be a lot warmer at the bottom, so it was good fun, good fun.